Hello, and welcome back. Let me take it down a notch. I got excited. Hello, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you are returning, no. Hello, and welcome to my YouTube channel. You are new here, and welcome back, babe. Let's do it again. Let's do it again. I don't know. I'm so excited, but okay. Okay, here we go. Hello, and welcome to my YouTube channel. If you are new here, thank you so much for being here. My intention with today is to kind of just give you guys a real reaction because I don't know what's going to happen. But I'd also like to say welcome back, babe, to my OGs, my babe community. Okay, so somebody sent me this on Instagram and asked me to give my response. Now it's a long caption. So I was like, you know what? Let me record it for YouTube. Let's record it for YouTube and let's give a blind reaction to this. I'm gonna give you guys my thoughts right here, right now. You know what I'm saying? So if you're interested in that, keep on watching. Remember to like this video. If you like watching my content, you know what I'm saying. Remember to subscribe and share this video if that is what you feel like you'd like to do in your heart. Guys, I don't know why I'm hyper, but let's just go with the vibes, right? So it's a picture of this couple that's like smiling at each other. I don't know if it's like illegal to show this, but I'm gonna show it. You know what I'm saying? It's very blurry, very not hard to see type of vibe, but it's okay. I describe the picture. It's a couple, right? So it's a long caption. One of those long ones. You know what I'm saying? So, anyways, I'm gonna read it. It says, my wife and I sat down with my grandpa the other day and prepared him with questions about marriage. He and my grandma were married for 62 years before she passed on. He said two things in particular that really surprised us. Okay. When we asked him what the secret of a healthy marriage was, he said, trust. Kind of obvious. So we poked a bit more and asked what trust meant to him. This is where we began taking notes, which continued once he dropped the second secret. Trust is about learning to support the other in the way they need it. He was hitting on something my wife and I have been picking up from some of the other experts we've been listening to lately. Excuse me. For a relationship to be healthy long term, you have to be willing to change yourself to accommodate the changes taking place in the other person. Fascinating. Second thing, question mark. My wife asked my grandpa how they got through the hard times in their marriage. No hard times, my grandpa said. What do you mean? We piped back. No hard times. We were stunned, but something clicked when he said that. Human nature will always veer towards expectation. If you expect marriage to be hard and challenging, it will likely be hard and challenging. My grandpa was instilling a different expectation in us. He wasn't saying that marriage is perfect and there aren't challenges. Rather, he was casting a vision of marriage that has minimal hardship because challenges are seen as opportunities and disagreements as learning moments. Maybe someone along the way told you recovery is so hard, it almost killed me, or recovery is a roller coaster, man. If you're going to really pursue freedom, buckle up. Beware of the expectations you set. Recovery is definitely not a cakewalk, but it doesn't have to be, what's this word? Ardiosis either. First time hearing that word, we're going to check up on that word.
Hard to accomplish, difficult to do.
Ooh, no, that's too bad. Pardidos! You want a baba? As Jesus said, to the blind men in Matthew 9:29, be it unto you according to your faith. Cheering you on, Sithia. You, I hope I said that lady's name right. Okay. So now my blind reaction to that, because I didn't go over that before this video. I just saw the message. I was like, let's do this video. Okay, so first of all, I'm a person that likes looking at definitions of words. Like, I like to know what a word means because I know I've also been guilty of that. We kind of like assign definitions to words that we would like, and that's not always an accurate definition. So let's check the real definition of trust. Trust is resilience on the veracity. Resilience on the veracity. Trust means integrity or other virtues of someone or something. Religious faith, health, confidence, protection, support. What did they say trust means? Trust is about learning to support the other in the way they need it. So I guess it's kind of like, it is accurate in a way to trust. But I remember also something that I learned is that we are told in scripture not to trust man. We are told to trust God. So I guess like we could support we could still like support one another. I think that's a little bit different. I think both is still valid because I see how they mean it and I see how it's meant in scripture. Let's do a little deeper dive. So trust. So he said he and his wife were married for 62 years. Let me just double check. Yeah, 62 years before she passed. And the two things that really surprised this couple is that he mentioned that one of the secrets is trust. I mean, yeah, that isn't like a very far-fetched or out there answer. We do hear like, trust, compromise. Yeah, like I think those are like the common ones, right? The one that kind of like sounds a bit wild, but it's not necessarily wild, but sounds kind of wild, is the one where they said you have to be willing to change yourself to accommodate the changes taking place in the other person. Like, I feel like there's two sides to this, and like I would like to just unpack a bit, right? So let's talk about the negative side of change, because it's like I feel like a lot of people will be like, I'm not changing myself for nobody. You gotta take me as I am. You made me like this, and this is how you need to accept me. Okay? Why is this thing picking up the background? Anyways, that I know is like something I've definitely heard before, right? But let's talk about the positive side of change. When you are in a kingdom marriage, there are things that your partner will bring up or out in you that needs to be brought to the surface, that needs to be brought to light. And like I said, kingdom marriages is not just like, oh, hey, baby, you're looking kind of cute. Let's do something about it. It's like trusting that Yahuwah has brought this person into your life. And when it comes to that, when it comes to like changing, let's look at the definition of change. Changing to accommodate your part. Change is to alter, make difference. Reciprocation, to alter, exchange, to switch. When it comes to looking at it on a different side of things, when we're able to change in order to support, like when I first started reading it, I was like, but the message says you have to be willing to change yourself to accommodate the changes taking place in the other person. Like, for example, something I just kind of like spoke about this morning with somebody. She is kind of just going off of what she learned in her childhood, right? And that's what worked for her. And that's what worked for the people around her as well. But then going into a marriage, it's different because it's like the things that we maybe learned in our childhood is what happened. Maybe that wasn't the best way, but that's what happened. But moving into a new relationship or a marriage, we don't have to take that same mentality that we had within our childhood or that we saw around us. We can change to accommodate a situation, maybe even better. So, in that sense, I do agree. And then I think the last point that I really did appreciate was the expectation. Um, because I think like that's also something that I personally had kind of like how do you say, two sides of that. Like I had quite a few experiences when it comes to my own beliefs on expectation. I looked at expectation through different lenses because in the world it says um, if you have lowered expectations, then the chance of you being disappointed is lowered too. But somebody I love taught me that you could have positive expectations and you can kind of like set that as your standard. And then on the other side of things, I also learned that sometimes having expectations of another person can be hurtful to you. So there's different sides of this, but to get back to the message, what they're speaking about is I think it's more to do with comparing oneself to another person's experience. Because you hear people say, like, oh, marriage is hard, or blah, blah, blah is hard, or this is really difficult, or blah, blah, blah. But in reality, not everyone's experience is going to be the same. So sometimes taking on other people's experiences and their expectations for their because of their reality isn't always fruitful for us. So I appreciate that reminder in this message. And I think it's actually like like hit the nail on the macadamia nut. Like it makes 100% sense. I'm just seeing if there's any other points I'd like to just touch on. Overall, I think it's a pretty cool message. I always like asking old people things like this, like just to kind of get their point of view, get their perspective. Um, yeah, it's just like interesting to speak to people that's lived longer lives, that's kind of gone through more. This part of the message says, beware of the expectations you set. And I don't necessarily think you need to like beware, but I think it is a good reminder to just be mindful of the expectations that you set, or just um, know that your thoughts, your words, and your actions have power. Let's just say it like that. And then I love that they ended this off with a scripture, Matthew 9:29, that says, be it unto you according to your faith. I appreciate that. Let's just check the scripture. Let's read like two scriptures before that and two after. Let's just see, right? So that's Matthew 9:29. So we're going to read Matthew 9 verses 27. And the title of this is Two Blind Men Healed. And it says, when Jesus departed from there, two blind men were following him, crying out and saying, Son of David, have mercy on us. And when he had come into the house, the blind men came to him, and Jesus said to them, do you believe that I am able to do this? Question mark. They said to him, yes, Lord. Then he touched their eyes, saying, according to your faith, let it be to you. And their eyes were opened, and Jesus sternly warned them, saying, see that no one knows it. And when they departed, they spread the news about him in the country. I like took a pause because their faith was a part of them being healed. And I like how they kind of use the scripture in that caption to say, be it unto you according to your faith. So it's very important, the things that we think and that we also store as our beliefs or as our expectations, because lo and behold, we will be seeing that in our life. And like I always like to say, make sure that those are in alignment with what you actually do desire. But just a quick little short video here for you guys, just to kind of just touch base and just share perspective. Now it's your turn. Let me know, what did you think of this caption? Do you have any interesting stories that your grandparents told you? Because I always love hearing stories about love, about other people's experience. Until my next video, I'm sending you much love.